Hi, I'm Miss Julie from the Youth Services Department at the Tinley Park Library. And I was just thinking this holiday, how things are so different because of not being able to see all the people we want to see. I was thinking, how can we get the kids involved more in the meal to make it more of a family event? And one easy way to get your kids involved would be to make butter. Butter can be made with simple ingredients of just heavy cream. That's really all you need, is heavy cream. You also could add salt if you choose, it's optional. And then you just need a jar, plastic or glass, mine's plastic, and then some marbles. Now, many of the recipes out there don't even call for marbles, but they help to speed the process up. So I'm gonna put 2 marbles in mine. Of course, I wash them first. All right, so a little bit about heavy whipping cream is we need to make sure that we have heavy whipping cream so that it does, we need to make sure we have heavy whipping cream so that it does turn into butter. You cannot use milk for this, and you cannot use half and half. It needs to be heavy cream with at least 35% milk fat. We're just gonna start off by pouring some heavy cream into a jar. There really is no amount that you need, it's just as much as you want to make. Now I already made a batch today, so I have about half of this left, so I have about a cup. You just want to make sure though you can shake it, so your container has to be big enough so that you can shake, you can churn up the cream with the marbles. I drop my marbles in. Now I learned the hard way today when I was doing my test run that my jar leaks, so I'm going to put saran wrap here. It's not necessary if you have a better jar. All right, so we are ready to go with this. Now, it's going to be about 10 minutes of shaking the jar. So I would recommend not relying on your kids to be able to do this because it is pretty tiring. So maybe you kind of want to take shifts or take turns doing this. All right, so I'm going to be shaking this and come back in just a few minutes because I want to show you the phases of making butter. So I'll be right back as I start shaking. Okay, so I've been shaking it with the marbles for about 5 minutes, and you can see that we started getting the first part of whipped cream. You can tell when you get here by listening to it, because when you're first shaking the marbles, it's very liquidy, and then all of a sudden you're going to hear like a change where you don't hear as much liquid. So take a peek at it and take a look at the whipped cream. Now, you don't want to, this whipped cream is not the sweet kind that you would expect to put on a dessert. You would have to add probably some powdered sugar or something to it, or some kind of form of sugar to make it sweet. But that's the phase we're in. So I'm just going to go get another saran wrap, and I'm going to keep whipping it. So at 5 minutes, we have whipped cream. On to the next phase. Okay, I'm at 7 minutes now, and I don't want to look at it yet, but I just want you to hear, you can't even hear the marbles because it's in that phase. So my next thing I'm going to take a peek is when I can start hearing liquid again. Right now when I'm shaking it, the marbles are buried. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so it's 8 minutes in, and I want to show you where we stand. You can see that we're definitely making progress with the butter, but I'm going to keep going until I start hearing some more liquid in there. And I'm going to return my, I probably don't even need that anymore because it's not going to spill, but okay. All right, I'm going to keep going. Okay, 11 minutes in, and you can hear how there's more liquid in there, and that's normal. Nothing went wrong. I'm going to keep going for about another 2 minutes after this. All right, so somehow more liquid got back in here, a lot, and it seems like, well, what happened? Well, the cool part, that means you got butter. So, I don't know, you can see there's a lot of liquid in there, and I learned that's the buttermilk. A lot of websites were saying save that if you want for baking. It's a lot. Here's my marble. So now you can see the actual butter. So I'm going to dump it in there. And So this was about a cup. So about a cup made that. Now the next step is pretty important too. So follow me to the sink. Okay, I'm just gonna put my butter there. All right, you have to rinse the butter. You have to rinse the butter to get all the excess buttermilk off. The key to, or the importance of this is that if you leave it on, bacteria can form on it and then your butter can go rancid pretty quickly. So you want cold water. And you're just gonna rinse and knead a little bit. And get it through, and then you work it through just by kneading it. Just trying to get off the excess buttermilk. Some websites had put it in ice bath, but it seemed like most of them, it seemed like this worked best, just to run it under cold water. Okay. All right, this would be the phase. I need to wash my hand, I have butter on my hand. All right, now this would be the phase where if you want to add some salt. Some recipes do, some don't. I added a little last time. Mine is the less sodium salt, but it works. Doesn't really say how much, just kind of work it in there. All right. Now we need to make sure that we wrap this. And now if you can use this right now, this would be the best time to use the butter, but otherwise we need to make sure we wrap it tight and put it in the fridge. I was trying to figure out like how long this would last. Just a couple days. There's no preservatives in it, so it's not going to last more than a couple days. So try to use this for your holidays. So try to make it the day before. This took about 13 minutes total for me to get. So this was a cup of heavy cream, and you can see it did make about a half a stick, give or take. My daughter, who's in middle school, came down to help, and she shook the jar for about 10 seconds and then lost interest. So just keeping in mind, you probably want to be available to take turns. You do get a good workout from this. Now you don't have to use, some other questions were, do you have to use marbles? No, it's agitation is what you need. So shaking it will work, but the marbles make it go faster. Can you put more marbles in? I suppose so. Some recipes only call for one, so I dropped in an extra already, but I suppose if you add another one, that would help. You can also make this in your food processor, which is the same idea. The food processor will do it for you. But again, this is supposed to be a fun experiment for the kids to see the different phases of heavy cream, to make whipped cream to butter. So enjoy the butter at your next holiday.